Thank you for participating today. We are joined now by Javion Hamlet, and we'll begin the press conference. Please use the raise hand function to indicate you would like to ask a question. When you're called on for your question, please state your name and affiliation first. Our first question is from Kellen King of the Insider Institute. Kellen, go ahead with your question.
Hey, Javion. First of all, congrats on the big win.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
And so when we talked on Wednesday, you talked about how you've had an underdog mentality your whole life, no D1 offers, and how good does it feel to just prove everybody who's doubted you your whole life wrong?
I mean, man, it feels great, but the job not done yet. I credit my teammates and my coaching staff, man. I credit North Texas, the whole organization for giving a kid like me a scholarship just to come prove myself. I just give them the credit. That's it.
Our next question is from Matthew Brune. Matthew, go ahead with your question.
Javion, going to overtime, man. Just talk to me about how y'all were able to come together. I mean, y'all went through the same exact thing in Western Kentucky. What was the message? How'd y'all pull it out?
Man, just we've been in hard fought games since I've been here, man. And when I first got here, we couldn't down and just give everything we got, just to come down the stretch and just to pull it out. Like you said, we just to pull it out. And coach was just telling us a more tougher team win, and we knew we had to be the more tougher team. We knew we tried to keep them off the glass and everything. So, that's what we did tonight.
Our next question is from John Fields of North Texas Daily. John, go ahead with your question, please.
Hey, Javion. Obviously, pretty big night for you tonight. What just fueled you coming into this one, and how were you able to overcome, some shot blocking from them and some tough times throughout? How were you able to overcome that?
Man, I've been waiting on this opportunity my whole life, man, just to show the whole world, like, who Javion Hamlet is. When the lights get big like this, I love that, And the shot blocking, they got pretty big dudes down there, just playing through their chin. What Coach Mack always preach, play through their chin. And like I said, be the more tougher team, and that's what we were doing tonight.
Our next question is from Adam Rittenberg. Adam, go ahead with your question.
Yeah, Javion, congratulations. Your dad was on TV all night with that sweatshirt. Think of that.
Man, just to do it in front of him, man, he been supporting me my whole life, in the stands. He knew all the frustration I went through. He knew the times that I wanted to quit. He told me to keep going. He told me I was special. When nobody else told me that I was special, he told me I was special. And a friend made that sweatshirt for him. He always been like that, always supportive.
Drez and Reese obviously lit it up in the first half.
Like I always tell them, man, y'all got to be aggressive. I'm trying to get y'all guys shots. Y'all the ones that get me going. And that's what they've been doing, just knocking down big shots after big shots after big shots. First got it. But, it's a process. And he's showing everybody on the big stage. So is Reese. I feel like they more bigger than what I am, what I mean to this team. They the ones that get me going, and I just credit those guys for knocking down shots for me and, get me in my rhythm.
Our next question is from...
Left, you were talking to maybe the Purdue fans, and you went over to talk to them.
Don't doubt me. That's what I told the Purdue fans. That's what I'm telling the whole world. Don't ever doubt.
Our next question is from Carter Hill with Fifth Quarter.
Hey, Javion, congratulations first off. That's a big win. What does it feel like to be the team to win the school's first ever NCAA tournament game, and what do you think you showed the nation tonight about North Texas basketball?
I mean, it's a great feeling, just to be the first team in history. Can't nobody take that away from us. All the players that playing on this team, like I said, is going to go down in history. And just showing the world that we greedy. Got a lot of under-recruit guys, no 5 stars, no 5 stars. Just to let that be known, we ain't got no 5 stars. Everybody said we want high major, this and that. So, we just showed the world that we can come play with anybody, and we're going to come out and compete and defend.
Our next question is from Brett Vito from the Denton Record Chronicle.
Javion, could you just talk about the feeling of pulling this out? Just what it's like for you guys to know that you've done it.
I mean, everybody doubting us. Like, I understand we ain't be the big team since I've been here, but we knew, like, you seen it. Like, we've been in close games with every big team we done play. You know, it's just perfect time. You know, so I don't understand why people so surprised. You know, like I said, I feel like we can play with anybody in the country because the way that we defend and the way that we greedy. You know, we the underdogs.
Our next question is from John Fields, North Texas Daily.
So obviously you guys came out strong in the first half. You're up 8 at halftime. Purdue comes with that run in the second half, ends up tying it and sending it to OT. What was it that allowed you guys to get that advantage in overtime and, you know, really pull away after a hard-fought game throughout?
Man, just dig in deep. You know, just giving everything we got, just trying to show the whole world that we belong. You know, and obviously this is what we did tonight. You know, that's it, man. Just dig down deep, you know.
Our next question is from John Title from hoopshd.com.
Javion, you talked about the toughness it took to pull out the win in overtime. I believe that you're like the third oldest team in the tournament and Purdue is the third youngest. So can you tell me how the experience helps? Is it more about mentally knowing what it takes to win when you're tired, or physically how to execute the play, or something else?
I mean, look, man, ain't nobody over here has been in this tournament, you know, but Reese. And Reese didn't even play in the tournament. So it ain't about the older guys and it ain't about the younger guys. It's about just getting out there and just having that dog mentality, just come out there and on top. That's what it's about.
Our next question is from John Fields, North Texas Daily.
Hey, Javion, you know, what is it that really allowed some of the other guys to get going tonight as well? Drez with 16, Reese with 13, Thomas with 16. I mean, Thomas had your first 7 points tonight. What was it that allowed those guys to really get going in this one?
Man, the big stage. We all the underdogs, like I'm constantly saying. We all the underdogs, and we've been waiting on this opportunity because, you know, people say we can't play here or we can't do this and we can't do that. So it's like 2 chips on our shoulders just to show the whole world like what we can do.
Our next question is from Danny Thompson, the 3-point conversion.
Javion, Danny Thompson with the 3-point conversion. Outstanding game tonight. It seemed like when you grabbed that defensive rebound to start overtime, it seemed like your entire team's energy level just picked up. Did you feel like your rebound just changed the whole complexity of the game? Because Purdue didn't score until like 40 seconds left in overtime.
Oh, yeah, for sure. You know, man, we can't just depend on Zach and TB to get the rebound. You know, I'm 6'3", 6'4". I got to go down there and rebound as well. You know, and my team know that I'm going to do whatever it takes to win and just to lead my guys, man. That's it.
Javion, also second follow-up question. Every kid's watched the NCAA tournament growing up. Was this exactly how you envisioned it as growing up as a kid, playing this type of moment, and not only just winning, but beating Purdue in their own state, pretty much at a home court advantage?
For sure, man. You know, just everything that I imagine. You know, I've been wanting to play in this tournament, like you said, since a young kid. You know, just to be here and just to see the bright lights and, you know, all the media and, you know, all the hype that's around it. It really is that, you know. But, yeah, for sure.
Our next question is from Lucas Weiss of The Undefeated.
Hey, Javion, congrats on the win tonight. You mentioned how, you know, you wanted to show the world that you guys belong, but I'm just curious how the coaching staff gave you that belief throughout the season that you could come here on this stage and win games.
I mean, they won't recruit us if they didn't think we can come here and, you know, win the games, you know, and playing big games. You know, like I said, my coaches know from JUCO, and most of our team JUCO guys, and most of, you know, we got freshmen and sophomores. We only got 5 seniors. So like I said, we all got the underdog mentality, man. You know, just try to show the world that we belong.
And our final question is from Sam Blum.
Yeah, just if you could take me back to you guys were tied with Middle Tennessee pretty much a week ago. The first round, you know, that they're not as good a team. I mean, can you just remember that moment and what's kind of happened since then? Does it feel like a blur?
I don't know. Can you elaborate on that question?
It's like, can you kind of think back to that moment and just kind of where this team was?
I mean, like I said, we can play with anybody in the country. You know, I just feel like we can play with anybody in the country, and we came out and proved it tonight. That's all I got to say, man.
Thank you, Javion, for your time, and best of luck in the next round. We will be joined momentarily by Coach. Please use this time to raise or lower your hand as necessary. Thank you. We will now begin with an opening statement from Coach Grant McCaslin and then go to questions. Please use the raise hand function to indicate you would like to ask a question. When you're called on, please state your name and affiliation first. Coach, please give us a brief opening statement and then we will go to questions.
First things first, Coach Painter, who's a friend of mine, we have a tremendous amount of respect for the way they compete. Purdue's a super physical team, and we felt like we'd have to do a great job on the defensive glass to give us a chance. I thought our composure was tremendous even when they made a run. And then they started pounding us on the glass and got us on our heels. But we did fight back, and that's what I love about this group. Tremendous amount of heart in that locker room, starting with Javion Hamlet and Zach Simmons, and it just carries over to the rest of the guys. But really proud of the effort and the way we found a way to separate even when we gave up the lead.
Our first question is from Danny Thompson, the three-point conversion.
Coach Danny Thompson with a three-point conversion. Outstanding win tonight. Jaden Ivey had 20-plus points tonight, but he didn't score a single point through the majority of overtime. Did you tell your players during the overtime huddle, let's make sure he doesn't score anything in overtime?
I mean, not really just that specific, but you try to honestly limit what he does well, and he's so good at getting downhill going right. And James Reese sent a text message to our staff saying that he wanted the opportunity to guard him, and he was the one on him at the end of the game and just did a really good job of making his penetration tough. And truth be told, when you look back at it, it'll be Thomas Bell at the rim who walled him up and made him miss a couple shots at the basket. I mean, we couldn't stop him from three either, but, it always takes a team in order to win. That's the way we're always going to be defensively, and we did it as a team the second half in order to slow him down in the overtime. Sorry.
And a quick follow-up to that. You had 2 days of isolation, so you had probably 2 days away to think, did this extra 2 days away from everybody give you a chance to prepare better? Because it seemed like the preparation was much better in overtime. So did you have a chance to see much more game film or any of those things while you had the extra 2 days?
Yeah, I mean, in our league, this Conference USA is tough. I want to just, this means a lot for our league because we have to play on Fridays and Saturdays. You will play at Friday at 7 o'clock and then turn around and play Saturday morning at 1. And so our league's been doing that all year long, and then you get that week of prep. So it's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then you play Friday and then obviously Saturday. So we were used to the longer preps, and our guys believe in our game plans, and it's obviously a benefit to be able to have that long a time to get your team ready. But our guys and our league, this is a tribute to our league and how tough it is, and we're excited to represent Conference USA and obviously the University of North Texas.
Our next question is from Matthew Brune.
Coach, congratulations.
Ready.
Obviously, on the defense side, on defense, y'all got it done. But when we talked earlier in the week, you said that Purdue's defense was going to be really tough to break down. What did y'all do on offense to give yourself some good looks and shoot 47% from the field?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, if you're going to try to involve their big guys in ball screens, then it makes it difficult to make the right read because they have tremendous size. And so what we try to do is maybe limit those ball screens and get other guys involved that we felt like could create advantages. And that's what offense is, right? I mean, you want to create advantages and give your guys leads in order to get great shots. And we were blessed to make them. I thought Mardrez McBride really got us going
from 3 today. Obviously, then the ball got moved, and we made some timely late clock plays at the end of the shot clock, just making the one more, no panic, jump stops, simple plays, and that's what we've been preaching to our guys. But we tried to limit those ball screens with the 5 because we felt like their defense was geared toward that.
Thanks, Coach.
You bet.
Next question is from Sam Blum.
Hey, Grant, Javion was saying with about 5 seconds left, he was kind of looking up at the Purdue fans, and he said he was yelling at them, "Don't ever doubt me." I'm curious just your perspective on his whole story and really what he's just kind of done for you the last week, really.
It is remarkable. I'll tell you what's funny about Javion is he didn't choose us the first time. That's the thing, and he picked a great school, obviously, out of junior college, and we really wanted him. He actually committed at one point. So I think we've got a unique relationship in that he trusts us and he believes in what we're doing, and we believe in him, and that's what's fun about this, right? I mean, you want to be in the foxhole. You want to be in the locker room with guys that you believe in. And because of that belief on our staff and our staff's belief in him and his belief in his teammates, you can see. I mean, a lot of people maybe be upset with as much as he dribbles up there up top trying to create opportunities, but we didn't turn the ball over very much. And, our guys know that he can do it. But he puts the work in. There's no confusion with this. The guy works at a crazy rate every night. 8 to 10. He's in the gym, and we practice in the morning. So it's anchored in effort. It's anchored in hard work. But his belief and how he actually lives it out on the court is it's just tremendous, man.
Our next question is from John Fields, North Texas Daily.
Hey, Coach. Congrats on the win. I'm glad I was able to get out here and see it. But, what can you say about Thomas Bell and what he meant to you guys tonight? He had the first 7 points of the game for y'all and ends up with 16 points, 5 boards. What did he really mean to y'all tonight, especially with some of the struggles he might have had in the conference tournament?
Well, the first 3 games he didn't struggle. He just had a bad shooting night that last one. But, I think where Thomas is just so versatile for us, and we got asked a question about what happened at the end of the game and how we were able to keep Ivey from scoring. And really, Thomas Bell walling up at the rim has always been a tremendous part about what we do. And the other thing is, he had 3 assists and no turnovers. He's a decision maker for us. He makes the right play. And when you got a guy like that can make an open 3 and can, play with composure in space and make the simple play, his utility is remarkable. And he's so competitive. And his rebounds, I thought, were unbelievable tonight when we needed them. And that's where we really got our backs against the wall, was not being able to rebound. And when your point guard has 12 and Thomas Bell has 5, that's a good sign that for us that we've got a chance to win.
Next question is from Kellen King, the Insider Institute.
Hey, Coach. My first question is just, sounded like you guys were having some fun in the locker room after the game. Can you just describe that environment? And then second of all, just how do you get your team refocused for whichever opponent you'll face on Sunday?
Well, locker room celebrations, I kind of wish they weren't on video because you love them for the group that's in there. And I'm a terrible dancer, and it's pretty much embarrassing. It's out of body for the most part. But I just love these guys, and our team is put a lot into it. And it's funny, it's like they almost don't really want to celebrate, but they want to celebrate because they know we have more to play for. That's how I'll describe it. Everybody's excited, but there's a resolve to what we're doing. We had to win 4 games in 4 days in a conference tournament. So there's not any confusion like we've come here and that's what we came here to do, was win 1 game. Not to say we can win anymore, but I do know the belief in that locker room is that we came here to play for it all. And whether you do or not is to be determined when you play in the games. But there's a resolve in that locker room and an approach that we anticipated playing well and giving ourselves a chance to win.
Our next question is from Christopher Heidel from Herb FM Sports Radio.
Coach, congratulations on the big win over a top Power 5 school tonight. What does it mean for you, for the university? I know you talked about the Conference USA. You guys play like back-to-back games on the weekend. what does it mean for you personally, knowing that you brought a team into the NCAA tournament and knocked off one of the big blue bloods?
I mean, this is about that locker room. This is about the heart that's put into it. We've got a phenomenal university at the University of North Texas. We're the mean green, and may not be all mean, but great people. Dr. Smotrisk, our president, really his heart for our students is tremendous. Rim Baker, our athletic director, really he and Jared Mosley, those two guys in our athletic administration, just pour their hearts into it. And put us in position and give us the resources to be great. So when you have the resources in our league to be, to give yourself a chance to win, then you get behind your staff. And, Ross Hodge and Matt Breyer do our defense with Coach Jareem Dowling, who's the Mike guy, who is an unbelievable coach himself. And, man, our defense is what I thought won it for us tonight. So it always takes the staff, and Nelson Haggerty and I have been close, and he's our operations, but he's one of my best friends. So it's just fun to be in that locker room with great people, and you don't try to worry about all the big things, honestly. You just focus on those people you're around every day, and you put your heart into it, and you go out there and you try to put everybody in the best position possible to win. And we've got a group and a staff that does it and a university that does that. So we're blessed. God's put us in an awesome position, and we're thankful and grateful for it.
Our next question is from Brett Vito, Denton Record Chronicle.
Hey, Coach, congratulations.
We did it, Brett.
Yeah, I know. Well, anyway, just for a quick question, you talked a little about what it means for the university, but what does it mean for your program to win an NCAA tournament game like this?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, if I told you that we didn't plan to do this, I'd be lying. I mean, those guys in that locker room came here for this reason, to play in the NCAA tournament and to win. Now, you never know what happens when you get out there and scrap, because you play a team like Purdue, and you're going to have to play the best game you could possibly play in order to win. But those guys believe we're going to win. They really do. And that's the part that you love about sports. No one out there is any better or any, different than you when it comes down to the work you put in and what you control. And we feel like that when we're together, we have a great chance to win. And so I'll just tell you that's affirmation of all the hard work that this staff and this program behind the players. And, like Zach Simmons was doing rebounding drills the summer of his freshman year incoming. And that dude's out there rebounding when it matters. It paid off 4 years later. So that part, just a blessing. And I just tell you, it means a lot to those guys in that locker room.
That is it for this post-game news conference. A transcript of the coach's interview will be provided by ASAP Sports and posted along with a recording of this press conference in the NCAA Digital Media Hub at www.ncaa.veritone.com. Thank you for joining us.
What we got here?
Hi, Coach. We're going to get started in just 1 minute. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome to the NCAA March Madness postgame press conference featuring Purdue. We will be hearing from Coach Matt Painter first, followed by Jaden Ivey. We will be getting started shortly. Please check your settings to be sure you are identified by name and affiliation. You will only be called on if you are properly identified. Thank you.
Hi, Coach Painter. We know you have your time is valuable, so why don't you go ahead and give us an opening statement while we get our video feed squared away,
Right.
and then we'll get ready to do questions. Thank you.
Right. Well, congratulations to North Texas. I thought they played a great game. Well-coached team, shot the ball well, very stingy, very, very good on the defensive end. Really made it a point to try to take us out of what we wanted to do from post-ups and especially to start the game. And, just overall, I was just very impressed with North Texas. And our guys played obviously a much better second half. Obviously, when you make more shots, that helps. But we really put ourselves in a great position and played well for that stretch and went into a little bit of a lull there, obviously with a front end of a 1-and-1. I think an and one at one time, and maybe another front end where we had missed 3 or 4 free throws. I'm not sure exactly on the number in that stretch under 5 minutes where we were doing really good things, making shots, getting fouled. And I thought that was kind of a key stretch. Obviously, we still made enough plays and got enough stops to put the game into overtime. But I thought that was a key stretch right there. If we could have knocked some of those down and got that lead and got them on their heels a little bit, especially if we could have got it to a 2-possession lead. But we didn't, and give them credit. And I thought our guys did a good job of just hanging in there. And then, we did not play well in the overtime, and just had a series of possessions there from offense, defense to start the overtime. Where we didn't execute, and then they're able to score the basketball. But once again, congratulations to Coach McCaslin and their players. They're a fabulous team, and it just stinks. We got a good group of guys, and you just want it for them. You just want them to have this success and be able to win games in the NCAA tournament in advance. But this is also part of it.
All right, we will now be going to questions from the media. Please use the raise hand function to indicate you want to ask a question. Again, you will only be called on if you are properly identified, so please say your name and affiliation, as our coach and student athlete will not be able to see you. Brian Newbert, we're going to start with you. Please unmute.
Matt, a lot of their offense seemed to come off dribble penetration. What was the issue there for either your team defensively, or what problems were they creating off the dribble where they were able to get those rhythm threes?
Yeah, they were really trying to search out, some matchups that they liked, especially at the start of that second half. We had a series of breakdowns, and then they were getting some matchups that were tough for us. But I thought we did a good job. When we contained the dribble and kept them out of the paint, I thought good things happened for us. When they got too deep on the dribble and they got in there, and they made plays, and that was their thing, and that's what we really had, discussed and talked about. We thought that was a big emphasis, that we had to, do a good job of keeping out of the paint, and at times we did, and at times we didn't.
All right, our next question will be from Tom Brew.
Matt, Tom Brew, Sports Illustrated, Purdue. You got a lot out of Isaiah Thompson tonight. It seemed like he gave you a spark when you really needed it. Can you talk about his role tonight?
Well, I thought he did a great job. We felt, his ability to make a shot. He didn't turn the basketball over. He did some good things defensively. They couldn't search out, matchups with him. as much. We wanted to put more quickness out there on the floor with him and Eric Hunter and Jaden Ivey in the group, just because they're so good off the bounce. But I thought Isaiah was great. I thought he gave us a really good lift on both ends.
All right, our next question will be from Mike Carmen.
Yeah, Matt. Why was it so hard to play through the post on the offensive end?
Right. Well, they just took it away. They just stayed in there on both sides when there was people in there, and they were making those guys just be a passer. And I thought Zach did a really good job in the first half of just making some simple passes and moving the ball, and it generated some good shots. And I think one of them was Isaiah's three when he subbed in, and Travion. When they came and got him a couple times right there, when he would just make that simple play, it was really effective. But keeping the ball in your hands too long, while they're putting a guy to your left and right and your defender, we had to move it at those times. And when we did that, when he got one-on-one the second half more, he was effective. Obviously he got some things off offensive rebounds, like Mason did too. But they just loaded it up, and they were going to force us to make some shots and force us to make that next play. And I thought when we did those things, we got quality shots. Obviously, in the first half, we didn't knock those down, but we also rushed some things. And, we just had to do a better job. It's not like anything that we haven't seen. I think they emphasized it a little bit more and, made us, beat us in that area more from the perimeter than probably other people do. But I thought it was nothing a whole lot different than anybody else have done. Like I said, I just thought they did it a little bit more and just held in there a little bit more to make those guys more decision makers and passers instead of scorers.
All right, our next question will be coming from Bob Kravitz.
Yeah, Matt, what was your message to the guys after the game? And also, what do you want your young guys to learn from this experience?
Yeah, I didn't hear the first part, Bob. I heard about what do you want your young guys to.
Yeah. Also, what was your message to the team afterwards?
It's tough. Like we have a good group of guys. We have good people on our team, and they care about the game and they care about each other, and just want them to have the experience of winning a game and getting back to the hotel and get ready for your next opponent, and that feeling that we had a couple years ago when we got to the Elite Eight. You just want that for them, and just appreciative and thankful for everything that they do. And as a coach, like you're on your guys, like you're on them, like you want them to get better, like you're there and you want them on edge and you want them to improve. But when it's all over with, like that goes out the window a little bit. You're just you're thankful. We have good guys in our locker room, and as a staff, we've worked really hard to put together a team that Purdue will be proud of. And but it's difficult. Like you're not real good, just like I am right here, of kind of putting words together to really let them know how you feel, and because they're hurting, man. They're hurting. No one was out there trying to miss a jumper or have a breakdown on the defensive end, and you're trying to do everything in your power, and our guys are they're grounded, and we respected the heck out of North Texas. This wasn't one of those games where anybody was looking past them. I made sure I talked to them about Grant McCaslin and his path, and the talent on their team. And a lot of times people talk about things and picks and different things, but as coaches, man, you respect other coaches and you respect other players. And our guys definitely respected North Texas, and they were just a little bit better than us today. But I'm proud to be their coach, and I'm happy to be their coach at Purdue, and I'm very grateful of that.
All right, our next question will be coming from Kevin Brockway with CNHI Sports.
Yeah, Coach. Were they as quick as they appeared on film, or did their quickness catch you guys off guard at all?
Well, I think they're pretty shifty. They have a lot of guys that can shoot. I think the one thing, their ability to make some shots, and they have guys that have good percentages. So the guys making shots tonight aren't guys that can't shoot. Like, the guys that made threes for them, are guys that, that can shoot the basketball, and we wanted to give attention to, and they were just searching out certain matchups and trying to break us down. And, we obviously had some breakdowns, but we also did some good things against it. And, and they had some tough possessions also. But they're good players, just across the board. They have some skilled guys, and they have some guys that are shifty that can break you down and get into that paint.
All right, our next question will be from Nathan Brown with the Indy Star.
Coach, a second consecutive game with you guys able to work off of a deficit going into the second half, and then things kind of fall off a little bit in that overtime. Did you see anything in this overtime period that you recognized from that game against Ohio State in the Big Ten tournament?
Yeah, it's obviously a great question, because I talked about that before our overtime. I didn't feel like against Ohio State we had I used the word energy. I just said, hey man, you got to have energy here. Like you got to be ready to go. And I thought against Ohio State in that overtime, and to Ohio State's credit, they made more plays than we did. But I also felt like, we gave so much effort to get back into that game at Ohio State. Did we have enough in our tank right there? And I didn't talk about it before we went out Ohio State. Obviously, we fought really hard to get in that position. Now we're down 8 at half, and we just couldn't get over that hump and get that lead to finish it off. And so we get into overtime, and that was my discussion before. Let's have overtime. Let's have energy. Let's be ready. Let's be simple. Let's hit singles. And we just didn't have a good start. And it was something we discussed about. Once again, like all the questions that have been asked are really good questions, because it was, let's be simple, let's put them into a bind, let's break them down. When they overhelp, let's get the ball moving, whether that's off drives or post-ups, the same thing. But let's also keep them out of the paint, and let's just have energy and make effort plays, make those 50-50 plays. In just the start of the half, those first 4 possessions, 2 offense, 2 defense, just put us back on our heels.
All right, and then our final question will be from Steve with the Associated Press.
Thanks for talking to us. I was just wondering, the Big Ten was regarded as potentially the league's best conference pretty much all season long.
Correct.
3 of the teams are out already with you, Ohio State.
I can't hear you.
The Big Ten was regarded as one of the top, as potentially the top conference in the league all season long.
Right.
Y'all have 3 teams eliminated so far. How surprised are you by the way the tournament has started for the Big Ten, and how much of a accurate gauge of a conference's strength do you think the NCAA tournament is?
Yeah, well, obviously don't have a pulse on what's gone on so far. Obviously, Michigan State lost in overtime. We lost in overtime, and I think Ohio State lost in overtime too, if I'm not mistaken. So you're going to get into close games in the NCAA tournament, and obviously matchups, are what drives the NCAA tournament. Those numbers don't matter. And you got to be able to go out on a neutral court and perform. But we had a great year this year. As a conference, I think a tough from 1 to 14 was obviously the best conference. And obviously when you do that and you get the most teams in, and then you have some really close losses, people want to push back and say, well, didn't maybe have quite the year that you thought. No, we had a great year as a conference, but you're 1 point away in 3 different games of winning, and you don't win, and that just, we won it for our conference. There's not anybody out there in our league that's not fighting to try to win for themselves and win for their conference. But I understand the question, but it was a pretty sticky league this year.
All right, thank you, Coach Painter, for your time today.
All right, thank you.
You'll be joined momentarily by Jaden Ivey. Please use this time to raise or lower your hand as necessary. Thank you. All right, we are now joined by Jaden Ivey, and we'll begin the press conference. Again, please use the raise hand function to indicate you would like to ask a question, and please state your name and affiliation so that they know who's talking. When you are called on for a question, please state your name and affiliation and unmute. All Our first question will be from Kevin Brockway with CNHI. Kevin, you're good to go.
Yeah, Jaden, a lot of momentum in terms of coming back at the end of regulation. Why do you think it didn't carry over into the overtime session?
I just think overtime was, a killer. We just, we turned, the ball over a couple of times, took some tough shots overtime, and they made some tough shots, man, overtime, and we just couldn't, recover, and that's basically the game. We had a chance to put it away, but I mean, we just didn't have it, and I feel like I could have done a little bit more, but it's tough. This is definitely tough, and North Texas played a hell of a game. Got to give credit to them, but we could have won the game, and it sucks. And we got some. We got some good guys on this team, and in the locker room, everyone was, going through it, and it just shows, everyone loves this team, and loves everyone, and this team's a family, and we're gonna get through this, and look forward to next season, and but we'll remember this. Going into the next season, and remember how it felt. Yeah, it's just it sucks.
Right. Our next question comes from Mike Carmen.
Yeah, Jaden, Mike Carmen, Lafayette Journal and Courier. I mean, how do you go about processing this after the regular season that you guys had, and then finishing with back-to-back losses in overtime and tournament play?
Sorry. Plumber, can you turn it up a little bit? I can't hear.
Guys, we can't hear you very well. We can't hear you very well. You might have to speak louder, please.
Okay, Jaden, I mean, how do you process these last two losses after a really good regular season, and trying to get through this as you guys head to the off season?
It's just tough. It happens. You lose games. You got to recover from it, and obviously it's in the postseason, but the two games that we lost, we had control of the games, going into OT, and we just couldn't get over the hump, and everyone says we're a young team. I mean, we just weren't experienced in that aspect, and trying to get over that hump. We have to get over it next year, and it sucks, but there's always lesson to learn when you lose games, and I'm just proud of everyone's fight. We could have backed down when we were down the whole game. We didn't. We forced it into OT, and just won 5 minutes. That's all we had, and we just couldn't get it done.
Our next question comes from Brian Newbert. Brian
Newbert, GoldenBlack.com. Hey, Jaden. Why were they so difficult to score on there in the first half, especially? What did they do defensively that was especially problematic, if any?
Nothing special. We just, they came down and, hit some tough shots, and, I feel like first half it was just, about getting rhythm. I feel like, Trey was, trying to find himself in the first half, along with Zach. Sasha had a, good first half, and, Eric was trying to find himself in the first half, and but we didn't give up going into the second half, and we just didn't back down in the second half. We got some open looks to the basket, some and ones. We made some key rebounds in the paint for Mason, and going into that the second half, the end of the stretch, we just we hit some tough shots, and we were able to force it into OT, and OT was just a killer. We just couldn't finish it.
All right, our final question comes from Tom Brew. Tom.
Hey, Jaden, Tom Brew, Sports Illustrated, Purdue. You guys, you don't have any seniors on this team, and your freshman class did a whole bunch of great things this year. I know this game just ended, but do you kind of look at this as more of the beginning instead of the end?
I think, I'm about to get in this gym. In the next couple of days, I'm about to get back in this gym. And it's off season. That's it. I'm gonna just, use this as motivation. And I'm just gonna keep working, keep my head down, and I know I'm gonna bring my teammates along with me. And I'm just gonna make sure they're good. And this sucks. This is tough, but we got to move on. And it just wasn't our year. And we just couldn't pull it out today. But we got to move on. Keep our heads up, stay positive, and we just gotta keep working because we got a talented team, and I think we can win a natty in the future. And but we just gotta keep working.
We actually have one more question. This one comes from Brian Newberg.
Brian Newberg, GoldenBlack.com again. Jaden, the way you played the last 5 or 6 weeks, what do you think lies ahead for you in terms of how good you can be? Have you put any thought into that yet or anything like that?
My thought is just winning. Honestly, whatever I can do, to win games. That's what I want to do. I just, try to keep my head up. This season's been, up and down for me. And, I could have given up, but I didn't. And, I just give props to, PJ, Coach Gav, our strength and conditioning coach. I give props to Coach Painter. He's, told me to keep my head up, and just stay positive. And I just, thank all those guys for, getting me through, a lot. I just was in my head, a lot this season, and, it sucks, but, I got to learn from that, and, I'm still growing in that aspect. And, but, this off season, it's going to be, a great off season. I feel like, it's just another chance for me to improve, in my game, in other aspects of my game, flaws in my game that I have, whether it's defensively, I feel like I can improve, so much defensively, and, to help, my team win. And, I just think, we just got to keep our heads up. Obviously, this is so tough. Probably one of the toughest losses I've ever, experienced in my career playing basketball. But, we just got to keep our heads up and, just grind it out. That's all I'm going to say. Just keep working. So, yeah.
All right, and our next question comes from JD Arland.
Jaden, you've been playing basketball for a long time. Can you equate this to any loss in your career in years past? I mean, how does this feel different post game than maybe loss in years past?
I think, I just think this one's so tough because, we come all the way back the whole game, down the whole game. And then, we force it in OT. It's a boost of energy, being down the whole game. And then, we just fumble the bag. We can't finish it. And it's just tough, and, it happened against Ohio State. We just couldn't finish it. So, yeah, this is definitely the toughest loss I've ever experienced. And, hopefully we learn from it as a team. We're going to have to. We can't, come in the NCAA tournament and lose again in the first round. I just, we can't go for that. We got to have, everybody on the same page next year. And, this one's tough, but, we got to learn from it and deal with it.
Thanks.
All right. If there are no further questions, thank you, Jaden, for your time. That's it for this post-game press conference. A transcript of the coach's interview will be provided by ASAP Sports and posted along with a recording of this